All right, and we're back again for another episode of the YMIT Podcast. As always, I say I got a special guest. Every guest is special to me because I wouldn't have them up here if they weren't special in some way. But super dynamic young lady. So she's from Chicago, but I, of course, know her from here in San Antonio. She's local here. I met her there. So a lot of different things about her. I met under the guise of her being the fire starter. So that probably tells you everything you need to know about her. Like she's a very electric, dynamic fire starter. She's a really big personality. I'm sure y'all will hear that as we go on. She's done things from being a speaker, a life coach, a business manager. And now I'm letting the cat out of the bag. So don't get too ahead of me, y'all. She started a publishing company as well recently, and she may or may not be helping me publish my book. Okay, my first book. That's the cat I let out of the bag. So don't say too much. However, I'm not here to talk about me. We're actually here to talk about her. She's an author. So, Jeneea, y'all see, I said that smooth. I said that smooth, Jeneea, like as if I've been saying it forever. Okay, the amazing Jeneea Moore. So, Jeneea, if you would introduce yourself, I know I already gave you a small introduction, but it's better when it comes straight from you.
Well, my name is Jeneea Moore, also known as the Fire Starter. My job is to ignite, it's to motivate, it's to help stir up the gifts in others. Trust me, I can't even help it. That's just what I do. And I am on the Young Millionaire Training Podcast. I'm so excited. Hey, y'all, how y'all doing?
Look, see, I told y'all she a really big person. I told y'all that. And look, so what I was getting ready to say, Jeneea, so this is like super crazy to me on that. I didn't want to hold you hostage any longer because I was like, she got to let that personality out. 'Cause I feel like she's going to explode sometimes. She don't let it out. But in all seriousness, a few weeks ago, because Jeneea and I just reconnected, and which is so crazy
Yes.
because I met her years ago, but I'm gonna be transparent here. I'm always super transparent. I discovered that we went to the same church, but we go to two different
Yeah.
campuses, and I had not seen her since, what do we say, like 2019 or 2018,
Probably.
or that in
Yeah.
person, like pre-COVID. Let me just say that I had not
Correct.
seen her since pre-COVID, and
Yes.
so I see her at our church's 10-year anniversary, and
Yes.
I'm looking at her and I was like, I know this woman, and I'm looking at her, and I was like, and I keep looking at her. I was like, I know this woman. I'm like, yeah, she goes to church, but I was like, no, because I was like, I know everybody that I know
Right.
that goes to church. I don't like, I'm not confused about people I run into going to church. I was like, but I know
Yeah.
her from somewhere. And so the pictures finally come out, and I saw your picture. I was like, oh, that's
Yeah.
Jeneea. So I reach out to her, and she was like, yeah, I saw you looking at me. I was like, what's this woman husband keep looking
What
at
a
me?
weirdo. No,
Yeah,
just joking.
yeah, and look, I'm at the church event looking like a weirdo.
Because especially when you're out somewhere and you used to seeing Facebook pictures and stuff, and we all dressed up and dolled up, we looking like our normal self in that sense. And I didn't have my glasses on either, so I had to walk up on people too and be like, "Hey, I know you." So that was so funny. And what's so awesome about this connection, like how God just turned things around, because what 2018, 19, I invited you on to be a
Yeah,
guest on my event, and you
yeah,
was talking about finances and stuff, and that's how we got connected. Your wife was pregnant at the time, so she was wobbling, doing her
yep.
thing, and so it was super awesome. And then look, and we turn around, and now I am a guest on your show, and it's such an honor and a
Nah, I
privilege
appreciate
to
that.
be here
Hey,
today. So I'm
it's
so
an honor and a
excited.
privilege to have you here, and especially because she told me that I was the first stop as she was going through
On my
on
tour.
yes on this book tour. Which, speaking of which,
Awesome.
tell me about this book because I have questions. Okay,
Yes.
so but I got to hear it from you. So it's called The
Okay, so let's
Day.
start how it started, right?
Yeah,
I have a publishing company. And when God gave me the vision of publishing company, I wanted to make sure that people have their royalties, because when I began to write or had things that I've written about, and I go into the details about that, I was afraid. As people were scaring me. They were scaring me with their prices. They were scaring me about these royalties. They were scaring me about, I was scared. And so therefore I just put it on the shelf. I didn't touch it, didn't edit it, didn't do anything. But this time, God allowed me to have the publishing company. I'm so grateful about that. But He said, now you're going to release everything that you have. I said, ooh. So I started to release these ebooks I've done, and I got to this one main book because I have a children's series that's going to be coming out soon too that I've written over years ago. But when God talks, you better listen, right? So he said, release everything. And I came across my book that's getting ready to be released, The Day That I Almost Got Married, The Major Deception. That is the title of the book. And so when I saw, because when I wrote it, it was almost like a journal diary type of thing, because God said date it and put times, date and time. And so I'm looking at the dates and times and it's saying 2014. And this was the end of last year. And I said, Lord, I got to release this. This is the 10-year anniversary that I've written this book. I have to release it this time. There's no buts about it. I have to. I can't even fight myself not to. I got to release it. And literally, I wrote it 10 years ago. Can you imagine writing something, never thinking you're going to release it? And God said, now is the time. And I'm so excited about that. So excited. Now, I want to say this, and I'll turn it back over to you because my host be coming out of me too as well.
No, you're good.
But God said, literally, imagine God telling you, you're going to write a book. And the title is going to be called The Day I Almost Got Married, The Major Deception, weeks before you're about to get married. Yeah. Do you feel that energy?
Yeah, no, I feel it totally, because I was actually sitting here thinking, I was like, man, I must be toxic because it sounds like tea and I want to drink it.
Listen, a couple days, weeks before the marriage, God is saying you're going to write a book, and this is the title. I said, God, I just don't want to be deceived. I just don't want to be deceived. Whatever, I don't care what you're talking about. Then he told me again, and I just fell out. I broke down. Now the person is still in my house. Do you feel me? Okay, the person is still around, but God is telling me the day I almost. Okay, it ain't say you get ready to get married. The girl's dreams to get, y'all know, ladies. I know there's gonna be ladies listening here. We dreamed of that beautiful day, and God said this ain't gonna happen.
Ooh, boy, yeah, that sounds stressful.
I started to write outside, going out of the relationship. I began to write.
Okay, which actually,
even gone yet.
That actually brings me to my first question. So, one of the chapters, a little birdie told me, it's called
The Day After.
The Day After.
The Day After.
So we got the day you almost got married. So what happened the day after?
The day after. So I'm literally, the day after chapter is so awesome because I began to write out of the relationship. Literally, I was already writing when this man was in my house, and I don't know how I'm gonna get him out my house, but he's there. But God's saying this is not gonna work, right? And so I began to start and talk about that process of the day before, leading up to, and the day after that is gone. And I used to want to call this the aftermath, but I did a survey. Everybody said I should call it the day after because of the residue of the stink. Woo! Imagine you get stung, and now you got the little red mark and it's swelling, and then now you have the chills, right? And now you're trying to be grateful you're still alive, but it's sting, it hurts. I'm talking about that process, that freshness. It hasn't quite hidden you yet. You almost know.
Yeah, it almost hurt more than the initial.
The initial thing, the aftermath is almost worse, right? Yeah. Now I got to bandage it up. Now if it rubs against my clothes, it hurt, right? Now everybody sees my scars. Ooh, let's talk about it.
That's good.
Now they see the scar where I got stung, because before it was some clear skin. I was good. And now I got a scar. Everybody can see it. Everybody's pointing at it. I feel it. Inside and out, I got a scar. How can I deal with this? And this is all happening in the church.
Oof. Oh, so there's some church hurt.
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
Oh, yes. Oh yes, so it's serious. So I'm here to set the captives free for real.
You might be here to set them free, but I feel like I'm in bondage. I need to know what this book about. Yeah, I was like, I need to get the rest of the book. Yeah, I was like, what question am I about to ask her to get her to tell me the
Feel
rest?
free to ask me whatever you. This is my first stop on this book tour. I'm in the name of Jesus. So go ahead, whatever you think you
No,
want to ask, go ahead, and we're
no,
gonna talk about
that's crazy. Actually, you know what? Spilling the beans. Let's spill them.
it.
Let's
Woo!
spill them.
So
Because
spilling the beans is a very interesting chapter because y'all know what it's talking about. Somebody spilling the beans. Now you want to tell. Now that I got at the relationship, y'all know what I'm talking about. Then they be like, hey, she was talking to such and such. You know they was over there doing, hey, dude, try to hit on me. Oh, now you want to spill the beans. I knew they wasn't no good for you, girl. I was just waiting to see what happened because he was mean and da 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 da. Now everybody want to tell everything. Now we got the chatter going on. Okay. Now we got the chatter. Where was that when I was in the relationship? Where was that when I asked you about the relationship and you ain't say nothing?
yeah, and
But
see,
now all of a sudden you see you.
right. The terrible thing, going back to your first point about that specific type of stuff, is you have that wound, and every time that you think it's healing, somebody open it right back up.
Yo, yeah.
Like for their
Oh, where is
benefit,
such and such? Oh, this.
not even for your benefit,
No. Oh
just because they
no.
want
Oh
to know.
no.
Yeah,
They
because
want to know.
that's
They want.
good.
Oh, what really? Oh, he was in your house. Oh, that y'all was together. Girl, I thought you was gonna get married. All that, and
So,
it hurts once again. Now we got another cut. Now we got another wound that now I have to deal with, right? Because everybody knew who that person really was, but was going to allow me to go through the process,
oof.
not covering me in the process. But now you're spilling all these beans after the process, after I survive. Now, girl, let me tell you. But I'm still here for you, though. I love you. Whenever you need me, I'm here. That's how people do. That's how we do each other. And what can you do with that?
So this is my question for you. As I mentioned before, I know you have a really big personality. What does that look like, or what did that look like? And you may talk about it in the book. I don't know.
I don't
What did
know.
it look like when you're trying to deal with this, and you still may feel like you have to show up and be Jeneea?
So that's good. You good at this. You good, man. Good. 2014. And I do talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it now. I'm from Chicago, and the process of coming here was a whole nother storm. And I said, God, whatever, here am I. Have your way. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to do with me, God. Because this right here, this whole process, I was like, it don't make no sense. The turmoil I had to go through to even get down here. God, whatever you want to do, I surrender. I go without nothing. Forget it. A bag of clothes. God, I'm gone. Right? And so when I got here and I gave everything to God, I was celibate for 6 years.
Sure.
I was churchy. Okay.
Yeah.
I was a walking Bible. I did nothing. I watched no movies, me and my kids. We didn't go to the movies. We didn't go to no events. We didn't listen to secular music, none of that. We barely watched shows on TV.
Oh,
It
wow.
was all day Jesus, literally. You could not hold a conversation with me without saying, my pastor said, the Bible said, my pastor said, the Bible said, my Bible. That's all I said over and over again. I referenced my pastor or I referenced the Bible. I was that churchy. And so for celibate for 6 years, and here we go, this process, right? I'm thinking I'm saving myself for marriage. I'm gonna finally do it right.
Yeah.
Now, this is right after 3 kids.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna finally do it right. Hey, we gotta get ourselves together at some point.
Right.
And here we go. I wasn't this person then. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because during that time, you could not hold a conversation. You will get mad at me.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna say the Bible says, and I'm gonna answer you accordingly. And that's all you was gonna get from me. So the socialness of me and the funness of me that I was once before during that season, it was not there. So how I got into this, and I don't want to give too much of the book, so I'm gonna save a part. But in the relationship, it's almost like a Eve effect, or a serpent, I'd say, because he was in the church and I thought that was my husband. I thought he was the one, right? Because he was in the church. So I'm thinking I'm attaching myself to something that's safe, because you know the word of God, because you know the Bible like I know the Bible. Now he knew a little bit more than I did, but my understanding was greater. You can say a scripture, I'm like, nah, that's not what that means. I break that down real quick. I know you can quote it, but I live it. You know what I'm saying? So that was the thing there. Yeah. And that's how I really, in a way, fell into that temptation.
Oh, yes, that's deep. Yeah. This is a good book. No, I'm genuinely intrigued because I was like, so many, because you just give me other questions. I actually want to kind of touch on something. It'll be a slightly bit off topic, but it's still within the realm. You were talking about that 6-year period where you were there. And look, I know my mathematicians over there, they were like, she was celibate for 6 years. So that, yeah, I know they was over there trying to figure out what's going on. Anywho, so you were talking about how any conversation you had was pastor said or the Bible says or whatever. And speaking on church hurt a little bit. So my personal church hurt, because I grew up in environments like that, it made me like shy away from them for a while when I got older. And even now, as I've been back in church and I talk to people, and not that it's always bad, I tell them, I said, even Jesus, when he was in the Bible talking, he was talking about like outside things. Like he talking about planting seeds and trees. Like he just talking about actual things in the world sometimes. I guess my question, and I don't know if it's in the book, what caused the end of the 6-year period for you? Not necessarily from a celibate standpoint, but I'm just saying that may work like when you came out of that mode.
I guess we're gonna talk about it then. I was gonna say it, but I guess we're talking about it.
It's up to you. Don't
we hit. Hey, this is the first stop. Y'all getting all the juice. Y'all getting all the goods here. Now, I used to brag a little bit that I was 6 years strong. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You gotta have a little pride in there, just a little bit. And you count down every day. It's been 6 years, and this is 6 years once again after the kids, right? So it ain't like I ain't been a woman, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so during that time span, there was no conversation with males. Okay. I used to be like, hey, and I could see they kind of looking if I paid attention.
Yeah.
Do you go to church? Nope. There was no conversation. My mom used to say, oh, why are you running now? You got 3 kids. Why are you running? Like, literally, I was running. Like, there was nobody in my space. No conversations. I didn't place myself in positions to get got.
Got you. That's good.
But oh, here come the baby daddy. The baby daddy rode on into town.
I understand.
Want to see his son. And him knowing me, nobody else seen me. And then you get to reminiscing, you have conversations, now all these emotions, and once again, it's a male close.
Yeah.
To me. I'm comfortable with, I don't have a kid vibe, and he's close, being gesturous, nice, and charismatic, and all of these things that I would like us to have again. Yeah, I get got.
No, you said I got.
I fell for the okie doke. Okay, listen.
Okay, so my question for you after that is, well, I don't know. When we say question, maybe conversation piece. Was it the thing of, had he been someone new, that it would not probably have happened, but because it was someone that was prior, it's almost, hey, this ain't even no new body, so that's different.
Absolutely. So that's what I would say to anybody. You got to be careful of familiarity. That's very familiar, right? Being comfortable and or trauma bonding as well. Because sometimes I'm hurt, you hurt, and we can hurt together and try to rub our hurt together and maybe it spark something, right? All these different things. And we got to be very careful, especially when in my situation, I was guarded with everybody else. No one got that close. But he was able to slide in because he was familiar. And we got to be careful what they call a spinning the block. Yeah. We got to be careful of that, right? Yeah. Hitting corners, spinners. Yeah, we got to be careful of that. We got to be careful of those familiar spirits because they already know. They know what to do. They know how to talk. They know if not to talk. They know if I just stand here close enough, you're going to lean in a little bit towards me. They're going to know your love languages is what they say, or attributes, or the things that you get enticed with. They're familiar with you. And you got to be careful of that. Because sometimes you can be doing well and the enemy will throw that thing back at you to show you how far you're not, or to test how far you really have gone. We gotta be careful, especially single individuals. And that's just not for women. This is for men too. That lonely moment. Because we have moments, right? You're not always lonely. Loneliness is not always a form of depression for everybody. It can be. But sometimes you have lonely moments, meaning I just want a companion. I just want somebody to sit here next to me, hold my hand, rub my head, something, rub my feet, whatever it may be. Just to have that comfortability with somebody that I can trust. And sometimes you will accept a piece of somebody, knowing that the whole entire thing is corrupt. You would just warp your mind to the piece of a thing. And that's what we got to stop doing, because that piece is not going to help you. It's almost, and here I go, I can't help it. It's almost like Lazarus talking about Father Abraham, can you tell him just to give me a drop of water? Just a little bit to be satisfied. That's not going to satisfy you. It's not going to quench your thirst for real. And it's worth waiting. You're worth waiting for it all.
Love that. No, I definitely love that. I actually talk a little bit about, I say not a little bit, it's been a lot of bit, when I said a lot of times for men where sex has gotten attached to our confidence. So thusly, and we're not used to women approaching us all the time with sex, unless sometimes if you famous or whatever the case may be, maybe, but a lot of times we're not used to women approaching us or throwing themselves at us or whatever the case may be. And we be quick to fold like a prison towel. You know, like, yeah, we fold quick, and everything's going good, and just the right one say something, and you real quick. And so no, you spot on. And like you said, just for a piece of that confidence, because you don't have that true confidence setting yourself or setting God, even more importantly, on that. And you can feel free to make any of your God references. We're a Christian friendly show. Yeah, you can make as many of them as you want. Okay. On my platform, you can make as many as you want.
It hasn't changed much in the years.
Yeah, and it shouldn't. I'm about to say that's fundamentally who you are. No, because I have full episodes about forgiveness and all kind of stuff. They probably mini sermons, to be totally honest with you. So no, yeah, please be you as much as you want to be. So back to the book though, because I know I'll take you off on tangents. So we had the day after spilling the beans, and we talked about those wounds. So as you were getting better, there's a chapter called the checkup.
Oh.
The checkup. So does that mean what I think that it means, as far as, because in my mind, I'm a little bit better. Let me check up on you, see what's going on, see can I slide back in. So yeah, what's going on with that?
Oh no, that's not that checkup.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, no, listen.
Oh, I'm about to hit this clinic. I'm about to get the checkup.
Ooh,
I'm about to go to this doctor's office because my baby daddy just slid into town.
Ooh.
And sliding on back out. And if I know, I know. I don't know how many there have been in this 6-year span that I've been in here in Texas and you all the way in Chicago. I know what I have not done.
Yeah.
And I know what you have done. So I think it's wise for you to go do that checkup.
Yeah.
You gotta have that checkup. You gotta make sure that your status is what it is. Just because you're not confident don't mean you ain't got the gout. I felt like saying that, but just for real. Just because you're not sneezing or coughing up blood don't mean that something might not be happening to you internally. But what was my fear, right? Was interacting with people that's interacting with people.
Yep.
Because I don't want to get that. I'm saving myself, man. I'm pure.
Yep.
As you get. And now I'm dealt with somebody that I don't. Once again, I don't care if it's one person in 6 years. I know it's been more than that. Real. Let's talk about it. And now you just slid over here and you slide on out of town. I'm scared.
Yeah.
And then not only that, I've had so many experiences, and I'm gonna go say this because I feel comfortable with you.
Yeah, be free.
And I just want to rebuke every man that ever say this, and don't teach no other man this either. I rebuke this notion of just put a baby in her. Because that's how I got kids.
Yeah.
Uncles telling my kid's father, just put a baby in her. What?
That's nasty.
What?
Yeah, that's diabolical.
What? That's cursing words to me now. Now I feel like you're threatening my life, and I'm about to fight you for real. Okay, because I'm still from Chicago. I'm gonna fight for real, right? Don't play with, you know what I'm saying? So now I have a fear that if I be intimate with somebody, I'm gonna be pregnant and left alone again to raise kids.
Right.
Now I had a very strong mama, so I understand how to move.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this ain't supposed to be my portion. Because the way I'm set up, I should have waited for marriage in the very beginning. The way I just go years and whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I had a fear. I had a fear for real that I'm finna be pregnant and he in a whole nother state. I don't want to move there. He definitely not moving here. And I'm finna have another, I know it. And I'm scared. And I have to go to the doctor's office that knows me, that I have been celibate for 6 years, and I'm coming there with tears in my eyes, trying not to fall out in the waiting area with all these other women, because I got to tell them I done did something. And I don't know if I'm pregnant or got something. It's scary. I was scared. I was not in my right mind at all in no capacity. When we talk about, and I'm talking about to put magnitude of it, trauma attached to sexual activities. Because I believe at some point we may all have it in some capacity. If you have been mishandled, if you have been forced into, or you just compromised just to get through it, all those different things. Or been over-sexualized by men or women. You have some form of trauma connected to any sexual activity. So imagine me sitting there and I got to tell them, now on my record, it's been celibate. And on my medical record, it says I done did something. But I can imagine they was looking at me because I named the clinic. It's in here. My doctor is in there. My nurse is in here in that chapter.
Yeah.
And I can imagine they was looking at me like, we see this every day. And I'm like, I just became one of those ones that you saw every day. When before, I know I was at least one of the ones that was very rare.
Yeah.
Pride gone. Confidence gone. And my identity is gone now. Because I was upholding a standard in my life and did not know how to recruit from that. To the listeners, be mindful of it. And not just be mindful, but make sure you seek out good, godly counsel when you fall into diverse temptations. My favorite word, if y'all don't know nothing else, is there is no condemnation. To those that love the Lord, there is no condemnation, but I didn't know that. I didn't understand that. I couldn't grasp it. I was beyond destroyed. I was destroyed. I destroyed myself before anybody could have said anything to me. And church folks say stuff to you.
Yeah, right.
Right? So I'm getting exams. do the works, check it, all that good stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about it in the chapter. So it's a very interesting chapter. I used to laugh thinking about the chapter. Who writes about the checkup? Who in their right mind? But God would make me write about it, my experience at the doctor's office. And I'm asking, I'm gonna save it. Y'all gonna listen. Y'all gonna read.
Yeah, no, we need to. Yeah, no,
I ain't gonna tell you what I had, the prescriptions I had to get.
Yeah, look, I'm sitting over here. Oh, so you going all in? Okay. Yeah,
Oh,
you
I'm
going in
talking about
full.
it all.
Yeah, look, I was over here. I was like, does she got a young
Hospital gown and everything. Then you got to change your clothes. Oh yeah, we talking about it. It's in the book.
Look, and I was sitting here. I'm like, does she got a young kid that I don't remember? I was trying to think. I'm like, does she got a young? I'm like, see, yeah, that's what I was over here thinking. I was like, is that another? I'm like, I don't think so. I was like, guess y'all gonna have to read the book to find out. Yeah,
You
y'all
gotta read the book. You
like
got to.
yeah, she might have a what, 4-year-old. I don't even know. Y'all, hey, I gotta read the book to find out.
Gotta read the book. But it's a lot in there. It's a lot that you're going to be able to pull. I believe people are going to be able to relate to the book. It's in the criticalness of the book. I could not change nothing.
Mm.
Imagine reading about yourself. Imagine reading your thought process. Imagine reading how you just fell into it, how you just been deceived. Imagine reading the deception and having to go through that process all over again. My. I could not change things in the book. It's in its natural content. The thought process, how I covered people in the book, how I just blame myself throughout the whole process or whatever. Because of course I take responsibility of it. I do. I'm going to talk about the word deception for a moment, if I can.
Yeah, please.
So when it comes to deception, first we got to talk about being deceived. Okay. So in order for you to be deceived, you have to believe a lie. And in order for you to believe a lie, you have to want that lie to be true. And you had to have been tempted with something you desired. And you had interest in it in order to be deceived. So that means that you must wanted something so bad that you was willing to believe the lie to obtain it. And therefore you end up being deceived. But now let's talk about the word deception. I'm going to say what it means to me. So not only did I believe a lie that I wanted to be true, and I masked some things to fit that piece, right? The little piece, it just gotta be right. So I'm gonna deceive myself because this gotta be right, because this little piece look good to eat. But when it comes to deception, now you have other factors. Remember, we talked about that spilling the beans, right? Somebody knew something, but didn't say anything, or they covered up, or they allowed it, or they was a part of the deception. Not just about not saying something, but they contributed to the deception. And that's why it says the major deception, because it all happened in the church. Once again, I don't go nowhere. Work, home, church. I don't go nowhere. Kids daycare, come on. So we got church folks involved in it. They intertwining and all that good stuff. And at this time, I was all day Jesus. So now that I not just get deceived from a man, but I got to see deceptions was happening around people in the church. And I was a firm believer. Let's talk about this church hurt word. I said, it's a worldly term. I can't stand it. I don't like it. Because we get hurt by a lot of things and we continue to do it.
Yep.
You still go to that one restaurant and 2 days later you're on the toilet, right?
Yep.
You get robbed out here. You go to comedy club. All these things that we do is fights break out here and there. You still go fiesta, right?
Yeah, right.
Every year fiesta. You're talking about if you go to the in fiesta in the daytime, it's gonna be all right. Okay, we know. Somebody gonna act up if he has the sentence, if that's a San Antonio thing, y'all. Okay. So it's gonna happen. But we talk about church hurt, and now of a sudden God did it.
Yep.
Not man.
Yep.
God did it. So I'm not gonna go to church anymore because God. That's where we mess up, people. That is where you mess up. Because yes, you've been hurt by people in the church that you have possibly let your guard down. We all in there worshiping. We are all praising God, crying, and it's supposed to be a community. It's supposed to be all love. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. And they over there talking about you. They over there, and you got labels, and they mishandling you, mistreating you, downing you, talking about you and your kids, all these different things. And we say God did it. God ain't real because those church fruit. That's what we mess up. And I hope you hear me today. And what I'm saying is you have to distinguish the two. We're all in this fleshly body. We all are out of order at times. We all have character flaws. We all mishandle something, somebody, even ourselves. So it's almost inevitable that an offense may happen, but that does not give you any kind of excuse to blame God for man's actions.
That's good. It's not the church hurt, it's people, and they're just people. Now, like before they became Christians, they were just people, and people hurt people, and that's the unfortunate piece. And like you said, that's not a reflection on God. So I appreciate you saying that. So before I let you go or we wrap up, outside of the 3 chapters that we mentioned, if there was one thing that you wanted people to take away from the book, what would it be?
Besides, there is no condemnation. I want to say that God will always create a way of escape. And so when you're feeling like you're down and out, the world is against you, your world is caving in on you, you can't even breathe, you can't function, your mental state is even a factor, right? God always creates a way of escape. You can get out of that situation. Even if you're sleeping in your car, you're homeless under a bridge, or living with some people you don't want to live with, God will create a way of escape. You do not have to stay in the conditions that you're in. That's either mental, emotional state, because we talked about wounds, right? They will heal. You have to work on internal and then out. But God will create a way of escape. So do not feel like you're alone, because you're not. Do not feel like you're abandoned. Maybe by man, but never by God. God is always there. He's with you always. He's comforting you always, wiping your tears away. So be encouraged and know that whatever chapter you are in your story, there's always another page to be turned.
That's good. That's good. Well, Jeneea, once again, before we get out of here, tell the people where we be able to find the book, because I will be getting my copy. Because I got to know. Yeah, it's the toxic side of people.
Yes.
And not that you need to be toxic to read the book. I'm just talking about me. I'm toxic sometimes, so I got to read the book. I need to know all the details.
It's okay. Just a little toxic.
Yeah, just a little toxic. One, where we can get the book from, and then where they can find you and follow you and all that good stuff.
Awesome. Well, moorepc.org is my website for my publishing company. If you're looking for a publishing company, I am a self-publishing company. I'm going to get it right, get it ready for you, give it to you so you can put it in all platforms. So come talk to me. All right. And then you can find me on Facebook at Jeneea Moore. You can hashtag the fire starter if you'd like to, or Moorepc on IG, as well as Facebook. And the book is coming out. I'm so excited. June 1st, which is my birthday. So if you want to give me a gift, buy the book. All right. That's my slogan for today. Now, for real. But yes, June 1st, I'm so excited. It's going to be on Amazon that weekend. And then after that, you'll see it everywhere.
No, that's awesome. Thank you so much for gracing us with your
Thank you.
amazing presence, Jeneea. I appreciate you. And to the audience, until next time, y'all make sure to stay up, stay in control of your life, take control of the things that you can take control of, and let God do the rest. And until next time, y'all be good.